So today I wanted to talk about a topic that is really interesting to me, and it is how do you make sure that an owner of a business or a director of operation, a CEO, can extract himself as much as possible from the day-to-day operations and spend more time doing the strategy. And I think I have one of the solution, and it resides in one of the core principles about operational excellence and how do you manage the value stream. So let's go to the drawing board and see together what is the measurable way and the secret sauce to achieve it. And stay until the end of the video because we have a framework that will really help you. So if we go here to a drawing board, like we can say that, no, in the first thing, value stream. What is a value stream? If we have a diagram here, this would be a value stream. It would be a part of the process of the company that has like big processes that start at the acquisition of your customer, usually who wants a value proposition of your business, and go all the way up to the delivery, which is where your customer here, he is very happy, like we're gonna put him a big smile, voila, he is happy. So first, he looks like a Mexican now. He would say your customer isn't satisfied or he has a need, and then boom, at the end he becomes very, very happy. And so to achieve that, usually a business will go through what we say the different stages of value creation, where at the end of each big step you'll have some produce some value that will be created until the final value that you wanted is delivered to him. So let's say this is a decision circle, but if we say that we want a document, this is where you'll no, I don't like this one. Let's say boom, here you have one thing that is produced, here you have another thing, or let's say two, then you have another one here, then you have here, and you have here. And remember, like a process is a very simple thing. It's part of it. It's composed of three things: input, process, and output. That's as easy as it is. Remember, we like when things are easy. So input, process, output. So there's always like something goes into the input, processing, boom, output. Then that output might be used in the next step, output, etc., etc., until the end the actor gets let's say what he purchases from you, which let's say he purchases a house, so boom, he gets a house. And to deliver the house, well, you needed to do a lot of different things between the step where that person is a lead and the moment that person is paying you money, cash, in exchange of the value that you provided them. So I would say here, the actor gives you money in exchange of all the value and the transformation you provided. But most of the business owners, what they will do, and this is where we're gonna try to find a representation of an SOP. Let's say, yeah, we're gonna use that instead of label. Okay, this is not the best. Okay, if we make them smaller, yeah, it doesn't work. Okay, let's say it's an SOP and a standard operating procedure. Sometimes you'll have SOPs that will be created and that that you are doing to create the value of each step, boom, 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 etc. And you might also have activities that are not documented. So it's activities that just stick the whole thing together, that create that continuity between the different artifacts and value add activities that you do across your supply chain and your whole value stream. So what really matters is that we want, when we approach a client, like doing that whole thing and the whole mapping of all their SOPs and activities that are not documented, not standardized. Remember, an SOP is like a standard operating procedure. It means that you have the visibility on all of the input, process, output. So when you have all of them, that's what's called an SOP. If you only have the output, and like the process is not defined and you don't really know what you need to get to that result, this is called an activity. Like just you do something, and we always start by mapping all the activities within the business, not defining the process. We don't really care about how you get there as long as you get there, right? And so this is where there are like multiple metrics that we can define. So the first one that we analyze the business on is just the ratio of activities on whoopsie, it's the inverse, I'm sorry, SOP on activities. Okay, right, because an SOP will be always a subset of the SOP will be always a subset of activities, because for sure you know all the activities you do, but you don't document all of them. So you want to know what is the ratio between your SOP and your activity here. So that's pretty straightforward. You always want to reach for 100%. So 100, let's say you have 100, out of the 100, boom, you have 100%. You want to reach for that. Almost no business reaches that point. It's impossible. It's very hard to do, but that's one of the best indicators of a business health. So that's what a lot of private equity companies and like the organization who want to buy companies look for. Then there's the ratio of, and this is where it's another concept that I want you to present, which is I think, okay, the other ratio is owner dependent activities, or SOP, and SOP on top of all activities and SOPs. Boom. So, and here you want to reach honestly a ratio below 20% and total time required per week under 20 hours, right? Because if that is true, then as an owner you can actually spend, let's say if you have a 40-hour work week, you can spend the rest of like 20 hours on strategy. And so the best owners that we see, they'll spend like, let's say 2 hours per day maximum on supporting operation, coaching their team, developing, etc. And the rest of the time, 20 plus hours, they'll spend it on strategy. And strategy can be seen in many different forms. It's like thinking about the branding, it's market positioning, new offers, new market segments. So all the things that will make sure that the business really scales beyond what it can do. And so to do that, you also want to see another metric, which is the ratio of quality, time, and cost compliant SOPs. So let's say once you created all the SOPs, and let's say you reach a very good number, most of your value stream activities are good SOPs. Most of those SOPs do not require you as the owner, and that, remember, like we saw a way to actually maximize the productivity of your players and your employees. You do that through two levers. Through training, by increasing their individual capacity through training, and then augmenting their degree of motivation. So if their degree of motivation is high, and then you shoot far with the individual capacity, you reach a level of performance that is the highest. So you want to be in here. Voila. But then there's so much you can do, you as an owner and as an internal performer, right? And this is where you want to spend your time on. You want to spend them on high impact, high quality, high impact activities, in needs of your business. And usually you want to focus on very high variability, high complexity activities, which we also call QR factor. So it's complexity, uncertainty, and ambiguity. So this is something great to know. And then it's like, if you look at all the operation, and let's say here you create, we're gonna create those squares. Tac. Let me just zoom a bit. Let's do some squares and visually represent our value stream. Let's say in one of your value stream you have 3 SOPs. Then in another process step you have, let's say 6, right? 6 SOPs. Then you have another one which will be another 6. Oops, and this is not what I wanted to do. Okay, we'll succeed in the selection. Boom. Then tac. And okay, let's say you have those 5 big steps, 5 big blocks, and each has 6 SOPs for. Okay, let's make things consistent. That's not the reality, but it's an oversimplification. And let's say all of those, we know that those top SOPs, they are their own independent. Boom. So your best players and and you as an owner, you want to handle them, and all of this, or let's say those, they become dependent on your virtual assistants, so they'll be on red. Those activities that are low variability, low complexity, you can delegate them to AI, so we put them in blue. And if everything in here is your rest of your company, which is not like A players, but still like good talent that is needed, so you give it to the rest of your internal team, but not like execs or very important people, so you put them in yellow. And so as you can see, as you evolve, as a business evolves, you want as much as possible to have less green. So make sure that you have the optimal amount of hours that you devote to your business, because those SPs really require your attention for quality assurance. But as an owner, you want to really have that good visibility on what is the share of the SOPs that are done by you, by a virtual assistant, or by an AI. And that's another point that is very important. It's like, we speak about a lot about AI, but there's a lot of like activities or SOPs that really don't require them and do not help you be better as a business. There's another video that we can do on the principle of leveling up your work. So right now we really focus on the documentation part of the business, but let's say you have an object which is your contract, your ask for work, an order from the customer, and then you want to organize those those orders through time to make sure that let's say this is day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Like if you have something that looks like this, where you have huge spikes in terms of the volume. So one day you have just 1 order, another day you have 2, and then you have, let's say you have only capacity. So let's say you have this capacity, boom, here. So you have only capacity to do 2 orders per day. Well, this that didn't get to be done this day, we'll need to move to the next, boom. But the problem is you also receive those orders today, so they'll be over capacity, etc. So those from the previous will go, but now, okay, next day you're a bit lucky, you only received 1 order, so this 1 order will If you do FIFO, we'll go to the next day, etc. But then once again, and that's the problem, because if you don't control if you don't level your your capacity, it's going to be very hard for you to predict what is the amount of resources that you need. And so what you want to do optimally is to control like your planning in the end to be like this, like that maximizes your capacity. Of course, this is another oversimplification. Sometimes different objects, like orders, require different amount of time, etc. But you get the idea. This is what in the TPS system we call leveling up. It's the Moody principle. And this has a lot of benefits in terms of your cost optimization, but also in terms of the promise that you give to your customer. And remember, a customer doesn't always need speed. What people want, they want predictability, and they want control. So if you can offer them that with your system, then it's fantastic. So yeah, okay, that's a long video, but thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about it. But one of the key principles is that, before you reach a point of doing a lot of SOPs and then delegating SOPs, etc., start small. Start with just understanding what are all the activities within your business, and so what are all the outputs that really matter for your end customer. So be client obsessed, and this is what it means, client obsessed. It's like remove all the noise, just focus on what is important, connect all those inputs between them so you can have a good sense of where things are, and then go into the questions about those metrics of those ratios. Yeah, so I have my camera that stopped working. But yeah, subscribe, comment, subscribe, and see you in the next one. I have many topics to talk about. Knowing that you are most probably a small business owner, and technology is very frightening to you, and you don't understand and you don't trust people like me, and you are right, because the industry track record isn't the best. But the good news is that the new technology that comes in puts the power of technology in the hands of people like us, and not the giants who are here to use their tricks to extract the most money and time from you. I was just a quick story, surfing on Reddit today and reading comments about the people who are trying to select their new ERP and CRM systems, and you can feel the limiting beliefs in some of the industry experts that still live in the world of 2000s, of rigidity of very old softwares. There are also people who are on the receiving end who have a lot of anxiety just thinking about doing those implementations and the change management, etc. And so those are actually all the things that we are solving with our new approach. And I can't wait for you to discover what it is. So if you want to learn more, go on our website, book a call with us, or send me an email. You have all the information down below. Take care.